Okay, so we're starting with lesson 7 and going to lesson 12. I'm going to cover some new skills here. The first is deleting fields, which I think I showed you in the last video, but if you ever need to delete a field, like let's say we want to get rid of this favorite website, click on the name of the field to select the whole column, and then right click, and right here, delete field. And it's going to permanently delete it. Say yes if that's what you really want. You can't get it back. There's no undo for it. So make sure that you are absolutely sure you want to get rid of it. Okay. The next thing is creating a field validation rule. So I'm going to put in a date of birth field. So it's going to be date and time. It's going to say date of birth. Okay. And hit enter. And now for this, up here, table tools, fields. Let's see what we can do here with this fields. Okay. Get on the date of birth field. And we want to do a validation rule. We want to say that we only want people that were born in 2000. Okay, so right here, we're going to do validation. We're going to field validation. We'll create an expression that restricts the values that can be entered in this field. We can also choose to have an error come up. Validation rule, create an expression that restricts the values that can be entered into a record. Okay, in a validation message. Let's try, we're going to do field validation rule. Okay, right here. And we want to enter an expression to validate the date in this field. Okay, so we want it to be only people born in 2000. Those are the only records that we want to be entered into this database for whatever reason. So to do that, we're going to follow this format, and you're given this also, but we want it to be greater than hashtag. You got to have the hashtags in there. 12/31/1999. Okay, greater than that date. Okay, hashtag. That's the last day of 99, and less than hashtag, you could probably guess it, 1/1/2001. Okay, and then hashtag. Okay, and so we're going to say okay. Just saying there's already data here, just so you know. Do you want to keep testing with the new settings? Yes. Okay, we had nothing in that column anyway. So now, without a rule message, if I enter in, let's say I try to enter today's date, and I hit enter, it gives me an error. Can't do it. Okay, it won't let me do that. Okay, but let's say I change the year to 2000. There it lets me do it. Okay, instead of getting that generic error, you can also set a field validation text so that the person knows more, like, why isn't it accepting this date? So field validation message. Let's say, please enter only date of birth in 2000. Okay, and I'm going to say okay. Now if I come over here and I start to type in, if I do today's date again, and I hit enter, please enter only date of birth in 2000. Okay, so that's how you set up a field validation rule and how you do a field validation text. And then using find and replace and sorting, ascending and descending. Okay, right here, cost of registration on any of these fields. If you click the down arrow, oh, I have to enter date of birth first. We'll say the same. Okay. If you hit any of the down arrows here, you can do, this is ascending from smallest to largest. And then this is, and notice how it changes, it moves the entire record down. Or you can do the largest to smallest, descending, okay? You can do it that way. And then to find and replace, I believe that's on the home tab. And let's say we want to find, I just know that I have Weber there. And let's say we want to do the replace, find Weber and replace with, maybe with 2 B's. And you could tell it, look in the current field, just this field. Or you can tell it to look in the entire document. Do we want to match the whole field or the start of the field? Like, do we want it to be WE or, whatever? We want it to be the whole field. And do we want to match the case? Does it have to have a W, capital W, or not? Do find next. There it stops on the first occurrence. And I want to replace. Find next. And it's all done because there's only one. So that's how you use find and replace. Apply bold and italics, font size and font color and alignment. So change the font style to bold and italic. So I'm going to cancel here. I'm going to go home and let's make bold. Okay, it changes it for the whole table. Italic. We can change the color here. Blue. Okay, so it changes it for the whole table. But what if we just want to change it just for a field? Select the field, and then you can tell it to center. Okay, or select the field and then change the color. Oh, I guess that all that stuff. The alignment you can change apparently per field when it's selected. Let's see what happens. Okay. So the alignment is per field, not for the whole table. Let's see. Adding and deleting records in Datasheet view. Okay, so if we want to add a record, like let's say we want to, we've got that one added in. Let's say we want to delete this first record. I'm going to point here, and when I get my right pointing arrow like that, I'm going to hit the right mouse button and do delete record. Okay, you're about to delete it. You won't be able to undo this. So if you're sure, say yes. If not, I'm going to say no. And then notice here, when you right click, that's where you can do a new record also. But it always will put the new record at the bottom. Okay. Creating a lookup field from a table. Okay. So let's go ahead, and we have the student info table. I'm going to make a new table, create table. And I'm going to make this be grades. We'll do grades. Okay. So to name this table, I'm going to point here, and I'm going to right click on table 1. Then I'm going to do rename, and I'm going to say, okay, it's open, so I can't do that right now. So anyway, let's just go ahead and add a field. And I'm going to do, let's do classes. Okay, let's do classes or grades. Yeah, we'll say short text, and we're going to say grade. And then here we're going to say so I've got them all entered, and now I'm going to do Control S to save, and that now I'm able to name it, and I'm going to say grade. Okay, so I created my new table. Now I have 2 tables in this one database. And then now I want to go back over here to my student info table. They're both open here, and I want to add right here, and I want to say, let's make this one grade. Oops, I don't want to do that. Double click here on field name, grade level. And this time, you know, we know how to do the lookup wizard, right? Table tools fields, and then we want to do more fields, and we want to do a lookup in relationship type. And this time I want the lookup fields to get values from another table, okay, instead of I want to type the values. And next, and we're going to type in, or we're going to choose grade, and next. And now then go ahead and click the grade. We've only got 2 fields in that table. Which ones do we want to include here? The grade one is the only one we want to include, because remember the ID is just a number. And then next. And then what sort order do you want? Okay, we're going to do grade, and we'll just say ascending, and then next. And so that's the order. That's what we want. Next. What label would you like? We already named it, but I'll say grade level. Do you want to enable data integrity? That means keep it the same. Yes, we do. Restrict delete, or do cascade delete. That means maybe you could delete it in one table but not the other. Do you want to store multiple values for this lookup? I don't even think it'll let us do that. And then finish. And we'll say, okay, grade level already exists, so we'll say grade levels, and finish. The database entry could not lock the table grade because it's already in use. Oh, so let's go ahead and close that. Now let's try it. More fields, look up in relationship, next, grade. By the way, this would bring them all over. That's important if it's a big table, but we don't need it for this one. Grade, next. We'll just name it grade, and enable integrity. We want to be able to delete on our own, and then finish. Oh, and then now we have 2. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. Yes. And now here, and we have to pick one that's here. It won't, if we go to type it in and hit enter, it won't let us do that. Okay, we have to pick one of these. So that's how you do that. And that's it for this lesson.